Another small Funko retailer just went out of business, and not only are we gonna complain about it because this is really but we're also going to tell you what you can do if you have been screwed over by any of these businesses.
Let's talk about it.
Welcome to the Gastlecast. We're glad you're there. You get the right time. We had an all-time high. Funko's hot toys and charms don't mind. Stick around, like, comment, and be sure to subscribe because life's a little better when you answer Chris and Heather. Hey, life's a little better when you answer Chris and Heather. Hey, life's a little better when you answer Chris and Heather. And remember, at these hella walls, we are together. Yes.
Has a small pop business taken your money and run?
Do you feel your credit card has been taken advantage of by a small Funko retailer?
Do you feel like your butthole was stretched real wide?
Hey! You may be entitled to compensation by that retailer.
Call 155-GET-GASTLECAST and we will come to your aid.
Okay, not really. We will give you advice on what you can personally do, but Chris and I are not writing letters for you. I'm sorry. We don't offer those services, but we will give you all of the tools that you need in order to hopefully get your money back. In case you missed it, Tough Collectibles is yet another small Funko retailer that has peaced out.
Another one bites the dust.
And another one gone, another one gone, another one bites the dust. So personally, I have never shopped with Tough Collectibles. I had recently heard their name, but honestly, I try to stick to the ones that we know and love, like $7 a pop, Poppin' Off Toys, Ralphie's Funhouse, First Form Collectibles, Smile World. Those are all fantastic Funko businesses.
I would never trust anybody that spells tough that way.
Yeah, they spell it T-U-F-F, like what are we, in kindergarten or something? In case you miss it, Tough Collectibles has gone under. Yet another one to join Ballyot, Kraken, Big Apple. And basically what happened was these retailers were once reputable, except Big Apple Collectibles. They were sort of like...
a little sketch, sketchy.
But realistically, the other ones had good reputations. Kraken's had a good reputation, Ballyot had a good reputation, and all of a sudden they went to
They all start off strong like this, but by the end, they're like this.
Now, I know a lot of bad things have happened with these smaller Funko retailers just hitting the road, not saying anything to anybody, and shutting down. However, I don't want you to be deterred from using small business because small businesses need business more than your Amazons, Walmarts, etc. I think it's really important to know everything we're about to tell you in this video so that you can make the best decisions based off of how things are going with these retailers. So in case you didn't know, the Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC, is an independent agency of the United States government whose mission is to enforce civil antitrust law and the promotion of consumer protection. So they're really just trying to protect you as a consumer. They have a law called the Mail, Internet, or Telephone Order Merchandise Rule. And this is very interesting. Basically, a seller has to ship your order within the time it says it will. If the seller does not promise a time, it has to ship you your order within 30 days of when you place it. Basically, pre-orders are allowed, they just have to state when it is coming, or ship it within 30 days of when you place your order. So basically this time frame starts when the seller receives your order. If the seller promises you a shipment time, it has to ship within that time. Now, if the item is delayed and the seller cannot ship to you within the promised time, they must tell you and give you a new shipping date. Or if they can't give you a new date, explain the reasons for the delay, and they need to give you the chance to cancel for a full refund. So that's why Amazon, for example, or even Target will let you know when there's a delay on your order, and they'll give you the opportunity to either cancel or continue waiting for your order, meaning they do it the right way. If you do not respond and the delay is 30 days or less, the seller can assume that you accept the delay, and you will wait for the items. If you don't respond and the delay is more than 30 days, the seller has to cancel the order by the 30th day of the period and give you a full refund. So if they notify you, hey, this is going to be delayed for 2 months, you don't reply, after 30 days have passed when they notified you, they have to automatically cancel your order for a refund.
Ah, I see. So that's why Target and Amazon make you literally click a button.
Yeah. If there are more delays, there's more rules. So if the seller can't meet the new shipping date, they must notify you again and give you a new shipping date or cancel your order and give you a refund. A refund does not mean store credit. It means a refund. The seller should cancel the order and promptly refund your payment unless you say by the revised shipping date that you are willing to wait. If you don't respond, the seller has to assume, when there are more delays, that you are not willing to wait, and they issue a full refund promptly. Now here comes refunds. If you paid by cash, check, or money order, or a credit card, the seller has to give you a refund within 7 working days after the order is canceled. If you paid with in-house credit, so store credit, the seller must credit your account within 1 billing cycle after the order is canceled. So nowhere does that say that it is appropriate for you to get store credit at one of these small shops. So if you go to cancel the order and the store does not allow it, you must look at their return policy because everyone's return policy is different. However, when it comes to them not meeting the target ship date, and they're playing these, oh, well, you can get in-store credit shenanigans, they're not allowed to do that. They owe you a full refund if they go past their time windows.
In there anywhere, does it state that companies can just take your money and run? Or
No.
Or are they allowed to just shut their doors and like not do anything about it? Or,
No.
Are they allowed to put on their website that we're no longer here?
Not without refunding you.
Are they allowed to just like shut down their website and not have a website anymore and you have no way of communicating with them? Or
So that's where things get really convoluted because yes, there have been delays. It is very often that it is on Funko's side, and not even just Funko's side, but the supply chain side realistically, because the supply chain has been super duper messed up. So these small companies are promised a date by Funko, and for whatever reason, Funko is unable to fill them in that time frame. Then these small companies are held liable for that time frame. So now, because of a mistake, when Funko tells them, oh, they'll be here by March, but then they delay them until May, now the person selling the pops has to say, hey guys, now you have to wait another 2 months to get your items. Do you want to keep it or do you want to cancel it? And a lot of places aren't doing this.
I mean, all the different companies that we've talked about closing up shop and running with your money, none of them are doing any of these things.
No, so a huge example is with Krakens because they were pretty recent. What they were doing when people were complaining about not getting their orders in a timely manner was they were offering their customers store credit. And when it came to spending their store credit, all they had available was a bunch of One, nobody wanted to buy their 2, they're not allowed to offer store credit according to this rule.
When you say did they only have the Mech Strike Marvel Funko Pops available?
I would assume it was that and probably like art series or something, but like the really ugly ones, not the cool Boba Fett Futura ones.
I thought maybe Mr. Hanky from South Park could be in there somewhere.
No, he's good.
a literal.
He is a literal but he's a good So first things first, when ordering from somewhere, make sure that you hear that these companies are legitimate. I would personally turn to the Funko community and say, hey, has anyone heard of this website before? If you get enough people vouching for them, then why not place your order? But with that being said, what I would do when you're ordering from a brand new company you had never ordered from before is to take screenshots of the time frame and make sure that everything is going according to plan so that you're within your credit card company's time frame of being able to dispute in case it comes to that. But hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Well, a lot of these companies are going belly up, so now we have to do our due diligence and make sure that we are keeping track of all of our orders. Over the years, I would go onto a lot of these different websites, ones that I've trusted, and some new companies maybe we've never ordered from, and I would just order a random pile of things. And sometimes I wouldn't keep track of it. I would come home from work, a box would be at the door, I would open it up and completely forgot that I ever ordered it. But because things are horrible nowadays with these small Funko retailers, you gotta keep up on it. Screenshots are a must. And save your emails. Document them. Maybe even make your own folder on your email that you place all of your different Funko Pop orders in.
That's a very smart tip.
Of course it is. I'm full of tips.
Okay.
What? That was not dirty.
Another tip is to look at their return and refund policies. If it says anything about store credit, even after a delay,
it's time to dip, mother. You know it's gonna only end up ugly.
So now here's the moment a lot of you have probably been waiting for. If you've been burned by any of the small companies who have recently gone out of business and there's no way to contact them, I'm about to tell you everything that you should do. And will it work? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm going to give you all of the proper steps that you should be taking in case of this situation happening to you, or if it already has happened to you.
This is the perfect time to let you know to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button and share this with all of your friends that might have been burned so far. We want to help as many people as we can in the community, so make sure you get this video around.
So the first thing you want to do is obviously contact the company. If you can't contact that company, well, you can't contact them. So the next step you want to take is to contact your bank immediately. So a lot of times your bank might have a window of like 60, 90, or 120 days to reverse charges on your card. With that being said, a lot of pre-orders have become increasingly longer over time. But with the FTC's rule in place, your bank might be a bit more understanding and say, okay, hey, this was a pre-order. They have 30 days after the pre-order to receive what they ordered, so we'll hook them up. So it all just depends on what information that you have and you give to your bank, and really your bank's decision.
I actually have a story about this that happened to me like 15 years ago that's relevant but not relevant to Funko Pop. So years and years ago, I went to one of these corner stores that sold mattresses, and I found a mattress that I liked, and it cost me right around $2,000. The person on the other side of the counter told me that it would take up to 3 weeks for this mattress to get to me. And at the time, I really needed a bed. I was sleeping on a couch for a while. I don't want to get into specifics.
I mean, if you keep talking about buttholes, you might be sleeping on the couch a bit longer.
Let's just say bad things happened and I lost my bed. So anyway, I bought this bed, or I pre-ordered the bed, like you would a Funko Pop. And when I got home, I realized I spent way too much money on this bed. $2,000 at the time of being like 23 years old was a lot of money for a bed. So I decided I really got to cancel this thing. Like, I cannot go through with this bed. So I called the mattress place and I said, hey, I want to cancel my bed. I pre-ordered it. It's not going to be here for 3 weeks. I don't actually have it in hand. Can I cancel it? And the guy on the other end said, well, you just came in here and bought that thing. You're not going to be able to cancel it. It's in our policies. And I was like, oh, like I'm right? I'm gonna be paying off this bed for the next 20 years of my life. So I ended up calling my credit card company and I explained to them what happened. It was all of 2 minutes. They had already canceled it and wiped the slate completely clean for me, and I never had to buy that $2,000 bed. So if you get to it in time, the credit card company will cancel all those charges.
Yeah, if you get to it in time. But with a lot of these pre-orders, they can go way, way outside of the time frame that the bank allows. That's where you have to fight it. So not only should you be asking your bank for a proper email address or mailing address of who you should be complaining to, you should send them all the screenshots of the website that you ordered from being down, any communications that you had from that store, any expected shipping dates, your charges, etc. You should also link them to the mail, internet, or telephone order rule, from the FTC and cite that basically saying, hey, they're supposed to be sending me the stuff that I paid for.
And we'll put that link in the description below so it makes life easier on you.
Additionally, if you have experienced or you suspect a scam, you can report it to the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. Your report can help law enforcement build cases against scammers, spot trends, and alert others in your community of the scam. I don't know how effective that is. I have never personally had to use it, but the more you get the word out there, I feel that you'll have a higher chance at winning your case and hopefully helping others win as well.
Yeah, so basically if you take this video and you share it with all of your friends, share it with the people who have been burned, everybody does exactly the same thing through the FTC, it could make really big changes. So we highly recommend that you do this because we're tired of seeing people get scammed.
Yeah, it is exhausting to see this happen. So many people ask, well, what do I do now? I guess I'm You might be, but you might not be. So hopefully some of these tactics work. And another thing we're gonna link in the description below is a sample letter of how to dispute credit card charges. And I think that could be incredibly helpful to those of you who have been burned by these companies. We've also heard to contact the Better Business Bureau, although we don't know how much they can actually help in regards to companies who have already closed. But if it's a company that's royally screwing you over and they're not actually closed, but you know that they are breaking laws, it would be important to report to the Better Business Bureau to at the very least warn other people about said company. So with all of that being said, make sure that you buy from a reputable source. Make sure you keep all records of any transactions that you make, even if you feel they're reputable, because like I said, Kraken's was very reputable at one point and then they just up and left.
Like many of the others.
Yep. Keep an eye on the time frame of your pre-orders. And contact your bank and contact the FTC, link in the description below, if you have any issues or feel you have been scammed.
We all have to work together to make some change. And let's make a change with these companies so they give us our money back.
Have you been screwed by one of the many Funko retailers that have shut down recently? We especially want to hear from you if you were successful in getting your refund, especially if it's been a while since your bank's chargeback window has closed. And if you try any of the steps we listed in this video, please let us know how it goes, all in the comment section down below.
In every video, we like to shout out to some of our patrons from Patreon. In this video, we'd like to shout out to Matthew Matthias, Trina and Travis, Pop Alex 223, Little Stevie, David Palama, Silver Haired Wolf, Foolish Morgans, Kathy Roberts, Brad Landis, and John DeLuca. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. We appreciate all of our patrons. You guys rock. Thank you so much for staying until the very end of the video. We appreciate all of your support. It means the world. Remember, as always, we are together, yes. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.